Oh.
It's your turn.
Okay. If it's a smash, that means start them. They're a smash hit. Stash means keep them on your bench. Maybe they'll be better in the future. Trash means they play for Buffalo. Okay. So.
Funny.
Or JJ's already got him on the bench.
They look good on a bicycle, guys. They look really good on a bicycle. All right, the first one, the Power 1977, has a question of whether to start Brandon Lloyd or Des Bryant.
Oh.
Oh.
I think
Lloyd.
Yeah.
Brandon Lloyd.
Lloyd had a great week last week, too. He's clearly establishing himself as number one.
Yeah.
He's a smash.
Sure, love Brandon Lloyd. Smash him.
Smash.
Smash Lloyd. I would say Lloyd and Royal are the guys on Denver that are getting looks every week.
And
they're
Orton's
solid.
been playing really well.
Orton's
too.
like
Yeah.
second in
Yeah.
yards in all of football, which
had
is
almost 500.
bizarre. Yeah. All right. What else we got?
All right, the next one, another either or Verdugo Jones. Gaffney or Amendola?
Gaffney.
Amendola.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thin league. I feel bad for that guy.
Yeah.
I feel worse for me, of course. But
Although
I don't know,
Amendola is
Amendola,
getting
yeah.
Detroit, so that's a
He's kind of doing the Wes Welker thing too, being that short
Yeah.
route.
Yeah.
yeah.
And he got, what are his stats from that? Because I feel like he did pretty well last week.
You don't know how to spell Amendola.
Amendola.
His first name's Danny.
I do know how to
It's
spell
Danny
that.
Amendola.
Yeah.
Last week he had 5 catches for
great.
46 yards.
Okay.
And he plays Detroit this week.
But that's pretty much what he has averaged. He's got 6 for 67,
he's got
4 for
21
39.
catches on the
Yeah.
year. It's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's consistent.
He's consistently
Yeah.
going to get you 5 to 6 points.
Yeah. Well, so there's your answer. Your answer is you want consistency, you go with Amendola. If you want boom or bust, you go Gaffney. Because
Yeah.
Gaffney can put up a huge game, but he could also disappear.
Yeah.
You know what interests me about this kid, though? As teams take Mark Clayton more seriously, I wonder if that is going to open things up for him. Because,
interesting.
a while ago, when Wes Welker first burst on the scene, kind of the opposite happened. People thought, oh, well, they're going to start paying attention to him, but he's just that good.
Yeah.
With a guy like Clayton, we don't know if he's that good yet. He's been good. He's obviously getting open. He's obviously the preferred target for Sam Bradford, but it could be the kind of thing where, okay, now teams are starting to take them seriously. They're going to key in on Clayton. Maybe it does open something up. Maybe he does get a couple of touchdowns here and there.
Yeah.
He's got to get in the end zone sometime, right?
He's definitely Gaffney could have a huge game. He could disappear. I would start. I'm going to slaughter his name. Amendola.
Amendola.
Yeah.
And
He had that great one-handed catch, too, last week, didn't he? Which was... It's always exciting.
Small, fast guy.
Detroit,
She knows
Detroit
everything
kid.
about him.
Small and fast. I do think it's about consistency,
fast,
and I would
that's what it's all
say,
about.
depending on who your number one, wide receiver is, this is your number 2, and I would go with consistency. Maybe.
Yeah. Let's hope you're asking about a 2 or a 3.
I would hope you're asking about a 2.
Or like a desperate flex play that you're choosing.
if you're
I
into
would
these
hope.
stats, Detroit ranks 3rd in most yards per reception allowed by wide receivers in the NFL. So this could be an interesting week for Mr. Amendola.
What else we got, Colin?
Amen.
All right, what are you guys thinking of Kansas City's defense against Indianapolis?
Well,
They lost last week, so I think they might just
And they put up a
slaughter
lot of
Kansas
like,
City.
they
I
haven't
think
been
it's
as
this is
consistent.
the
can I?
yeah.
Who asked this question?
Oh, that's me.
Yeah.
If I don't say a name, it means I make
Well, let me
this
tell you
up.
something, stat boy. Even though I'm looking at my own stats, Colin, I'll tell you this. I've got the Chiefs defense. They have been good. I don't have many options
But
in my
say-
league.
but-
All these defenses are gone, but I have to agree with Claire. I'm definitely concerned about Indy coming out and just
Manning is going to
exploding
play
at the
yeah,
dome.
they're gonna play
And
so
again,
bad.
Casey has surprised.
But
on
look,
many
Casey has
occasions.
surprised, but
They've played
Casey.
against-
Yeah, but they've
They're
he's
not-
surprised
yeah.
against middle of the road or bad teams.
Yeah.
I think this is
Yeah.
the week that they stopped going undefeated,
Yeah.
and I
They're back
think
down to
Indy's
earth?
going to
Chicago got exposed last week. Kansas City
City
gets
gets
exposed this
exposed.
week.
But hold
I
on,
agree.
let's.
Indianapolis
Indy's
is going
not
to
a
destroy
great
them.
team.
They are arguably the best passing team in the
Good
league.
offense, great offense.
Yeah.
And you're
Not a
starting the
great
Kansas
team.
City
They have
defense.
lost.
Yeah, it's
so
just the
you're
defense.
asking.
They're going to
I
get
know.
scored
Well,
on.
like I said, I don't have many options.
Manning doesn't
What do you
turn
want
it
me to do?
over. I don't. You're not going to
Colin,
sack Manning.
I say
Yeah.
you stash them this week if you have an extra roster spot for defense to see if they
I
are
just drop them.
But
I would
special
drop
teams,
them.
if their special
Yeah.
teams are involved, like included, like mine, right?
Yeah.
They could get a return.
McCluster's great.
McCluster's
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
let's see. I'm
all right,
praying.
What
I'm
else we
praying,
got?
Colin. Let's pray.
That is a
Amendola.
trash for me.
Trash.
I'm making the executive decision. You trash Kansas City this week as a D.
Wow. Yeah. That hurt.
Sorry.
On to baseball.
Had to do it. No.
Roy Halladay.
No baseball in my football.
All right. Moving on.
All right. Rob Gronkowski out of New England.
Yeah.
Is he? What should we do with that?
Ooh,
guy?
we didn't even put him into the conversation.
Yeah, he
of
didn't
the-
get talked about
yeah.
much, but he's the tight end with height.
Yeah,
Randy
he's,
Moss deal. We didn't talk about him.
Yeah.
he's the red zone
Tight
target.
end
Yeah.
with height.
Yeah.
Well, when you're
I
described as the
don't
tight end, I think the
know.
difference is that Hernandez has really taken over as the primary pass catching tight end.
He
And
hasn't
he's,
seen many.
maybe he gets a couple extra looks, but
Yeah.
He'll get
I
the
don't
red
know.
zone looks that Randy Moss would have gotten had they been throwing to him in the red zone. The only touchdowns they got were deeper passes.
Yeah.
Once they got inside the 20, they ignored them. So I don't know. I mean, if they decide to start using somebody like that again, Gronkowski's the guy because he's the
Yeah.
big tight end. He's got good hands. But I don't know if that's really part of their scheme anymore.
Yeah. And I would say, from my point of view, I don't care.
Because he's too in love with Aaron Hernandez.
Because now Aaron Hernandez has been pounded into my brain and my soul. He's now my favorite New England player of all time.
Yeah.
I will say though, Gronkowski as a rookie, I mean he's very, very good, and I know that New England was super excited about him, and I do expect them to use him at some point.
He was drafted ahead of Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There was a preseason game where he had 2 touchdowns.
yeah, I mean I think like he's gonna get thrown into the mix. Where and when? We
Well,
will
that's
have to
why
see.
you keep
JJ
him.
I would
I would stash him.
I'm
He's
saying
I'd
stash.
stash him as
Yeah.
well.
Stash.
I think he's, unanimous stash. Keep him around. He's somebody who might fill in for bye weeks for you. He usually gets 1 or 2 catches, but it's almost always one of them for a touchdown. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Okay, Verdugo Jones wants to know if Jerome Harrison is going to be a sleeper this weekend. It says Peyton Hillis has a slight thigh injury.
He's fine.
It's fine.
It's,
Yeah.
it looks like one of those.
Trash.
Yeah.
Trashity trash.
Yeah.
Super trash.
I have actually already trashed him off my own team
Yeah.
and replaced him with the likes of the running backs you heard. So
If he's not good enough for JJ's team, super trash.
I don't think there's a super trash button on
We're going to
this.
have to make one.
Yeah.
Maybe we can steal, what's the Brendan Fraser? Yeah, Last Airbender from Stupid for Movies.
Maybe we could have a Super Tramp thing that comes across and play Super Tramp music.
Yeah, I like that.
Everyone loves
Goodbye,
Supertramp.
stranger. All right.
What else we got, Colin?
Yeah. Okay.
We could do that, JJ.
we could.
Let's go with
Just remember,
we don't have to.
Ryan
No, we don't have to.
Fitzpatrick versus the Jaguars.
Our Jaguars.
Jaguars.
Jaguars?
Ryan
Jaguars.
I think he plays for Buffalo.
It's the Buffalo
And-
Poison.
You got it. Unless you're in
Wait,
like
I
a
don't understand the question.
16-team
Versus-
league, you've got to
playing
be able to
Jacksonville as
find a better quarterback to pick
Just
up.
don't really start anybody named
There's
Fitz. And
five
trash
guys. There's 5 guys available on your waiver wire that I would take before.
Yeah,
him
why don't you just
right
go get
now.
Sean Hill?
Yeah, drop him. Start Sean Hill this week. Get rid of Fitzpatrick. He's
Sure,
trash.
sure.
Trash.
I agree. Start Sean Hill. That's a new pilot.
What else we got,
Start
Colin?
Sean
Start
Hill.
Sean Hill.
Okay. Show 123 is asking Santonio Holmes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super stud.
It's
Love
like-
him.
Well, consider Claire's fantasy
We
team.
love Santonio.
Yeah, Santonio Holmes.
Love him.
A lot of love. I would
He's
put him
so
a close
great.
second to Aaron Hernandez. That's how good he is.
I don't quite love him as much as the three of you, but he's
Well, then
He's a top 20 wide receiver. He's a top 20 wide
Yeah, he's-
receiver.
I think he's outstanding. Santonio Holmes is quite a talent. He's rested. He's ready.
He's spunky.
He's spunky.
He's spunky.
He looks great on TV. His butt looks fantastic in that Jets uniform.
I don't know
says
how-
JJ. And here's the thing with Santonio Holmes. I just think that.
He's gonna be so excited to be on the field.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be thrilled to be on the field. He's a playmaker.
Is he a puppy? Is he like a puppy?
Yeah, he
Like-
is. He peed a little bit before going on the field because he got so excited. Yeah.
He's puppy love. He nuzzles.
But
No, I think Santonio's going to be great because I just do, and I think the Jets' offense has really found their groove now,
Yeah.
and I think they're going to open
Yeah.
it up, and I think they're going to give Sanchez. He's going to have a couple.
I think
of nice
this
shots
what,
down the
what we're
field.
witnessing right now is Rex Ryan going, okay, you've done what I've asked for a year and a half, Sanchez. You've not turned it over. You've let your defense and your running backs win games, and now we're going to use that arm that you made famous at USC. You got he's a great quarterback. They've just been letting him go slowly into the league. I think Sanchez is about to put up some serious numbers for a while, and a lot of that has to do with Holmes coming back.
And unfortunately, as a Vikings fan, I don't think that defense is as solid as it's been the past years. I think it's a little past its prime.
Revis is definitely down a notch from last year, and he was what made that defense so remarkable, because your number one pass catcher, you just erase him. I mean, he would just literally take every great pass catcher out of the league last year. He's not doing that this year. Randy Moss scored on him. He's not as good as he was last year, and I think
I was actually talking about the Vikings defense.
Yeah.
But I was going to let you
about the
continue
Jets?
to talk about the Jets. The Vikings defense, which for so long has been a very fearful unit. You know, you didn't want to play them. You sat players against them. I still think they're solid, but they're no longer you have to worry about starting a player against them.
Yeah, I agree. They just seem to have incredible team defense chemistry, and it was palpable, it was visible. You could see it on the field the last couple of years.
Yeah.
This year, not so much.
I still worry about Jared Allen, though, for the reasons that I was talking about earlier. Cooking and the moose and those things.
He cooked moose?
Yeah, he has a cookbook.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
That's why he
Jared
lists
Allen
himself
kills
as
moose.
going to the
Moose.
Culinary Institute.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one thing I'll say real quick is I believe from here on out the number one fantasy defense is Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Reason why they got Roethlisberger back. That keeps the other team's defense on the field longer. It makes their defense fresher, and they've already been playing incredible football. I think Polamalu is defensive MVP of the year this year. No problem. That tackle he made over the line.
There it is. Defensive Player of the Year. He's calling it right now.
Polamalu.
Troy Polamalu.
And Hernandez finishes as a top 5 tight end. You heard it here
Oh my
first.
God.
What else you got,
All right.
Colin? So we don't have to talk about Hernandez again.
Josh Freeman, Tampa Bay quarterback, going up against Cincinnati.
Well, again, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, because we haven't really heard much about these guys for a couple of weeks, you go on your bye week, you're off the radar. I like Josh Freeman. I like his mobility. I like his arm. I like what they're doing there. I think as LeGarrette Blount becomes more involved in the offense, I like how they're going to mix up the pass and the run. He and Cadillac are two different runners, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I like Mike Williams, and I think Freeman's a good start.
And
look, it may fall completely apart, right? It may be the kind of game where he gets maybe just a few points, but he does have the potential to have a nice, solid game for you. Maybe get you a what in my league would be like 20 points. 2 touchdowns, 225, 30 yards. And he has a good day and contributes to your team.
And if your normal starters on a bye this week, he's
a good
got to
pickup.
pick up and start.
He's a good pickup. He's available in around 80% of leagues. Also, a lot of people have forgotten that he's got a great tight end, too. They haven't been using him yet, but Kellen Winslow is a great tight end.
Yeah.
So he's got Mike Williams, he's got Kellen Winslow, he's got LeGarrette Blount, he's got Cadillac Williams, and he's the type of quarterback that can play when a pocket breaks down. He's got great legs. He can get outside. He can make the run. He can make the throw out of the pocket. I would say he's second to me. He's Sean Hill, Josh Freeman if you're in trouble. Freeman's a better long-term guy. If you're in a keeper league, I'd pick him up and stash him right away.
And I think the Bengals' defense has looked a little shaky.
Yeah, they're not as good as they were last year. So I'd say if you had Cutler, if you had Vic, definitely start him this week. He's a good start.
And if nobody's asking about David Garrard,
I like
playing against the Bills.
That's true.
You could do worse. You could do worse with a guy.
You could.
I mean, of course, had a couple of horrible games, but came back last week, recovered. Garrard, he's a trooper. You
never know. They may start Trent Edwards against the Bills. Get some vengeance in.
That would be
Freak
awful.
accident happens to David Garrard.
Right.
And then,
It doesn't a freak accident. I'll tell you what it'd be right now. It'd be a high ankle sprain.
Well,
The injury of the year.
Or a lawn mowing incident.
Yeah.
So what are we giving him?
Like the type.
We give him Freeman a smash? It sounds like we got
I think he's a
lukewarm
stash.
smash.
He's a stash, but I understand if you got to start him this week because there's a lot of quarterbacks down. So he's a stash. He's a good fill-in. He's a stash. Stood a match.
Or Smatash.
So yeah, there you go. I like Smatash better.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Verdugo Jones wants to know who the best kicker in the league is. They have Reed on a bye week, and we've never actually discussed kickers that much here.
That's because Adam.
There is a reason for that because
I will
kickers don't matter.
I will say this right now because I also have Reed on a bye week. He may be the best kicker in the league, but just drop him and pick up whoever's available, and maybe get him back next week. Maybe you don't.
If
Doesn't
Matt
really
Prater's
matter.
available from
Matt
Denver,
Prater.
pick him up. He's been great
Matt
for both
Prater,
of us.
yeah,
and
he's been
our regular
great.
team. the
So
Niners
even
suck,
though he's the
so.
best kicker in the league, trash him.
I will say there's no such thing as the best kicker in the league. It's going to change. Reed will not continue to be the best kicker in the league because with Roethlisberger back, they're going to get in the end zone more and he's going to get less field goals. Kickers get you a lot of points when they're on a team that's good at getting to the 20 and horrible at getting in the end zone. See Baltimore for 5 years in a row. I mean, their kicker's always been great because they have a lot of games where they win 16-7. So that's 3 field goals. It's a great game.
One of the best kickers.
Yeah.
And conversely, consider this, folks. And I don't want to get too deep here, but there's also no such thing as the worst kicker in the league.
Yeah. Kickers have a lot more to do with matchups
Also,
than anybody else.
Jeff Reed's been missing a ton. Like, my theory is that kickers don't make field goals, and if they do, it's really lucky. It's all emotional, as I was talking about last week. So, like, kickers, yeah.
Kickers don't make field goals. Bad play calling makes field goals.
It's all emotional.
I thought it was kickers don't make field goals, emotions do.
Yeah.
Emotions do, right.
Can we just trash Reed and stop talking about kickers?
Matt Prater.
He's not a
Matt
trash.
Prater
He's a
from
stash.
Denver. Do it.
Yeah, but
Scout Danny
trash.
Amendola.
he's a trash maybe this week, but he's definitely a good
Right,
kicker.
but we're talking about this week. We're not talking about Reed in 5 weeks from now.
This is, by the way, this is all we'll talk about kickers all year long. So you're welcome, Verdugo Jones.
I'll recommend a kicker
Alright.
every week. That'll be
Oh
my
no,
segment.
no.
Is that trash?
Yeah, we'll trash.
It's something.
Dump them to pick somebody else up, and then pick them back up the next week.
All right.
Okay.
Next on the list is Nate Washington.
Oh.
This is one of those
the hell is
situations.
that?
It's not his
not.
fault. He's on a team
not.
that's not good at passing.
situation or no trash.
I think trash.
He's
Yeah,
getting nothing. He will
he's
get
getting
nothing.
nothing.
If you have
For
return
now.
yards, maybe, and you have a player
still
returner,
trash.
but trash.
He's a
still
trash. He's a trash. Give me more.
Is this week finally the week to start Michael Bush?
Oh,
Well, for me it is because I have no other choice.
Well, and I'll say this.
Put a gun to my head.
Follow us on Twitter at Stupid for Football, the number 4 football. Reason being is Darren McFadden is most likely not playing, but that can always change. If McFadden plays, Bush is maybe a decent flex start, but he's not a starter. If McFadden, it's McFadden's team, and it will be even if he sits out a couple of weeks because he's been unbelievable in the first 4 weeks. But that said, Michael Bush is probably going to be a good start this week because I do think that McFadden will miss. I'll let you guys know early on Sunday.